What's up, friends? Y'all wanted a love reading, and that's kind of what was coming through on the last read for the week. So I am using my love and money deck to try to please y'all. No, I'm kidding. Because I'm just feeling called. I am feeling called to it. All right, we got those ready. We have our hidden love messages deck. We'll use that for, don't run away. We'll use that for our clarifying cards. And then we have the hidden truth oracle. We will use that for your advice. Just got to shuffle these biddies up. What y'all having for dinner, y'all? Leave it in the comments. I want to know. Your girl had some brisket. And then I put that brisket and made kind of like my own version of carne asada fries. I've been eating really, really, really healthy lately. And those of you that know me know I kind of bulk up in the winter for snowboard season. And then snowboard season kind of thins me out. So that by the time I get to summer, I'm kind of back to baseline. But I feel like I rode a lot this winter. So I feel like I thinned out a little too much. So I don't really eat a lot of meat. I try to find protein in like other sources, like chickpeas and stuff like that, lentils. But it is hard. Any of you that have tried to like bulk up not eating meat, there's only so many ways you can eat beans for protein. There's only so many eggs, you know, you can eat and stuff like that. Only so much yogurt you can consume. And I'm really not a fan of like protein powders and protein bars and those like Quest protein chips and stuff that are out there because a lot of them are made with crap. P.S. Always read your labels. Always read your labels. And then as far as like the healthy options, like vegan protein or plant protein, pea protein, I find myself getting really dried out by that. Plus I like food. It's not that I don't like meat. I don't crave it a lot. I really don't crave it a lot. So when I feel like my muscles aren't muscling, I find myself craving some, whoa, what threw itself on the floor. I find myself craving a healthy dose of some protein meat. Let me see if I can get that card. Are we going to do some toe business like we did last week? Speculation. Let's pick her up. Oh, let's pick her up, y'all. Speculation. Chasing quick gains and ignoring long-term stability, overestimating potential returns and underestimating risks. Woo! Find out about y'all. Find out about y'all over there overextending your resources. Don't follow others, speculate advice blindly. They made you believe it's a shortcut, but in reality, it's just a waste of time. I now know that was untrue. I like that. My nose was just itchy. For me, my meditative quote is touching the nose means no. I'm just going to move this camera back a little bit. I feel like y'all are like on top of me. There you go. That's better. Whoa. Okay. This deck really wanted to speak to you guys. Jeez. That one came out first. Savings. Okay. So this, I know we were reaching for a love reading here. My nose is so itchy right now. Woo. Touching the nose means no. That is my meditative quote. If you are speculating, investing in something right now, or taking somebody's advice on what to do with your savings, with your money, the advice I can give you, touch on the nose means no, is it is probably not for you. Someone might be trying to convince you that you investing in them or in whatever finance is going to be in your best interest. But from what I'm picking up right now, that is not the case. So savings, anticipating needs prevents last minute scrambles. A financial cushion provides comfort during tough times. I want to be prepared for the future and not be caught off guard by unexpected events. I need to make sure we are ready for anything that comes our way. Interesting. Digital detox. I'm all about the digital detoxes. Lost in the virtual world and neglects real life relationships. Realizes the need for a digital detox and seeks clarity. Feels overwhelmed by digital content and needs a break. We keep repeating the same patterns with our phones and it never ends well. When will we learn to limit our screen time and be more present? So perhaps somebody is speculating that if you spend more time doing something digital, so whether it is creating a digital product, I just like almost yawned. It's like boring. It's boring. Whatever you're speculating, whatever somebody is trying to push on you that's going to drain your savings, nah, it's not for you. Seeking help, boom. Listen to the cards. Crying out for support, help arrives from unexpected quarters. Invisible forces of help guide you through troubled waters. I want to support you spiritually and not feel bounded by your struggles, nor the opinions of others. I'm here to lift you up even if you're unsure of what the future holds. Walls closing in. Ooh. Removing the walls built by cultural differences, sexual orientation, or other divides that once seemed unbreakable. There is no more space for denial, only for resolution. Our backgrounds may be worlds apart, but our hearts remain aligned. Breaking the walls that try to keep us apart, even when the world sees walls, we find a way to stay united, choosing love over division. So it's funny, this is kind of piggybacking off of the reading I just finished for you guys. And the message of that reading was that you're kind of split between making two choices. So if this is matters of the heart, maybe there is somebody that is like perfect on paper. And then there's someone that like makes your heart sing. But they are anything but what you would have expected to be linked up with in life. And the world, the Lord, divine, whatever you believe in, the universe works in really mysterious ways. A lot of times we don't end up with what we imagine our end goal being. We wind up with something better. And that requires us to remove the bullshit, digitally detox, and get real about what it is that we want. Because we could go for the supermodel, but that supermodel is probably going to be superficial. That supermodel probably isn't going to be very supportive. That supermodel is probably going to make you feel like the walls are closing in because it's going to be all about them. They're not going to have any time for you. They're going to be touring the world and getting photo shoots done in Milan, whatever, right? We make time for what we make time for, right? There's that saying, if they wanted to, they would. No, literally, if somebody wants to be in your life, they will be. If somebody wants to give you effort, they will. If somebody wants to reconcile with you, they will damn near fucking knock, excuse my French, the walls down, move a mountain, and do whatever it takes to get to you. So there's no exit off this cycle. You are feeling the walls closing in on you because there's something you're not doing. You are not listening to your intuition. You're feeling trapped in a situation with no exit or escape, experiences a perpetual return to the same situations, trapped in an infinite loop with no escape, engages in a Sisyphean task that never ends. I don't know if I've even heard of that word, Sisyphean. I like it. We keep replaying the same story over and over again, and it never ends well. When will we finally learn to break this cycle? This could be love. It could be finance. It is the love and money deck, right? So when are you going to break the cycle of constantly going after that same type of person? For me, it was narcissistic men. Narcissistic men were attracted to me because I very much needed to heal from a lot of my childhood traumas, from my relationship with my narcissistic parents, from my people-pleasing tendencies, from myself not feeling worthy, from myself not feeling loved or loving myself enough. And until you get to the root of what your problem is, there's not going to be an exit. You're going to repeat that same cycle and pattern over and over and over. So perhaps you're always choosing the perfect on paper person. And now it's time to go for the person that would be the last person you would think of, because that is the person that's going to help set you free. And it's not that they actually help set you free, they help you set yourself free. Celebration. Look at Santa, y'all. Getting crazy with his little candy cane here in May, almost June. Harmony, peace, joy, togetherness, celebration. Celebrate love with simple acts of kindness and give with an open heart, expecting nothing in return. That's a fine line, because that's a people-pleasing tendency from prior trauma, FYI. So you can give without expecting anything in return. Absolutely. I always say, ooh, cards flying around. I always say, expect nothing, you'll never be let down. But we do, actually, one of the biggest narcissists I dated back in 2019, I don't even call it dating, befriended, healed, whatever, used to tell me, right, like I wasn't entitled or able to think the way that I wanted to think. My sense of free will and freedom, I know, drove him nuts. He used to say, whenever I would say, expect nothing and you'll never be let down. Well, that's not possible, because you wake up every day with expectations. You wake up every day expecting to wake up. You wake up every day expecting to breathe, your free air. You wake up every day expecting your family to be there and your finances to be there and your friends to be there. Clearly, this person never broke down their traumas until probably they met me and dumped them all on me. When you grow from trauma and a broken home, you literally learn to expect nothing because you don't want to be let down anymore, right? So yeah, you expect to wake up breathing, but not always, because when you're in unsafe situations, I don't wake up expecting to be alive. I wake up grateful that I'm alive. I wake up grateful for the challenges of the day prior and the challenges of what this new day brings. Because it means that I'm alive, it means that for the most part I am well, and it means that I have time. Now, we are all on borrowed time. So when you learn that at a young age, losing your mom at 14, losing multiple friends, again, having a very traumatic childhood, you learn to appreciate the time you have with others. So much that sometimes you give from that overpouring cup and you forget to pour back into yourself. So it's a fine line, giving without expectations of return, if you can, if it's within your means. I even said in my last reading, just because you want to help the poor doesn't mean you empty out your bank account to go buy them all food in, downtown San Diego or the Bay Area or New York City, right? It would be wiser to maybe get involved in volunteering at a shelter or a soup kitchen and helping other resources help you provide resources to these people in need, so you're not overextending yourself. So I say, expect nothing, you'll never be let down. Yeah, you could wake up with expectations, but if you're waking up with expectations, that's actually an entitled perception of living, rather than waking up with gratitude for simply just being alive and not expecting anything more. And that's when the universe shows up and shows out for you and starts providing and gets you out of Dodge when you least expect it, or when you were too naive to the fact that you needed to get the heck out of a situation, right? If I would have wound up with that person, what my life would be. My goodness, I don't even want to think about it at this point, because I've moved through it, processed it, healed from it, and I am so thankful that that didn't work out, and grateful that that person could have used my energy in the way that they did to heal themselves and hop onto something new, and hope that they took the time to heal so that they don't keep doing that in every relationship, situationship, friendship thereafter me. Got to learn the lesson. Sometimes you learn the lesson, doesn't mean they learn the lesson, right? We expect nothing and we're never let down. In the warmth of this celebration, I was reminded of what we've lost and what we might still find in each other. Loneliness. Interesting. Distant twin flame fuels your spiritual journey and inner growth. Solo venture reveals hidden truths and personal growth. I need to take control of my life, and this journey is the first step. I'm not ready to commit to anything until I find myself. You might be searching a long time, friends. I do think that sometimes we have to embrace loneliness. I don't look at loneliness as loneliness. I look at it as solitude. And to me, solitude is bliss. You know, you come home from work, you kick off your shoes, you sit down in your chair, and you decompress. Maybe you pick up a book. Maybe you stare at the wall in silence, at the busyness of your day, in gratitude to be home. And instead of being over-consumed by consumerism, you seek solace. You seek peace. You expect nothing, therefore you are never let down, as opposed to someone who is always consuming, always looking for the next best thing, the next fix, the next way to heal, the next thing to eat, the next drink, the next friend, the next lover, the next whatever, right? So when we stop leading from expecting things and leading from a place of gratitude, we can learn to celebrate. We can find an exit to the conglomeratism, the hamster wheel of life, so that the walls aren't closing in, so that we're not always seeking help. We can choose to digitally detox and speculate so that we can make up our own decisions. If I would have allowed that person to completely change and brainwash my sense of being, which I did momentarily, I would have lost myself completely. And for a moment I did, right? But it's coming back to self, finding parts of self, reclaiming parts of self. And we don't do that by continuing to shovel stuff into our mouth, continuing to drink alcohol and make bad decisions that aren't going to help us to heal. We do that by removing little by little, one thing after another, to come into this concept of self, to find self. Because you're not going to find self when you're drunk. You're not going to find self when you're high. You're not going to find self when you're people-pleasing, when you're expecting, when you're entitled. You're going to find self when the universe has removed everything that no longer serves you, whether you choose to or not. And if you choose to sit with yourself, you'll stop repeating the cycle. You might learn it on a deeper level. And it doesn't mean that the cycle completely stops. It means you level up. That lesson now grows deeper within you, so that the next time you get a chance to repeat the cycle, you don't. Try that one on for size. So consumerism focuses on material wealth and neglects true happiness. Unending desire for more satisfaction is elusive. I became inspired by your presence, your energy, and your beauty. Without you, I am missing my tools to create a life beyond materialism. Yet in my pursuit of material success, I left little room for our connection to grow. Are you dating a narcissist? Is that what this is? We all have our own narcissisms. We do. It's called our ego. But for a love reading, this is kind of looking like you might be with a narcissist. And until you start speculating and detoxing from this person's energy and seeking the help you need to get out of Dodge, the walls are going to continue to close in because you are continuing to bind yourself to this codependency. And there will be no exit. So until you allow yourself to be lonely and celebrate your inner joys of life, you will continue to consider consumerism as your outlet instead of emptying self out to realize you are already whole. Taking a sip of my beverage. All right, let's get you some clarifying cards. Whoa, okay.